Hi everyone. Somebody asked me a question the other day. When you're turning right at a roundabout, which lane do you exit in if there's multiple lanes on the exit road? On the left or on the right? Now, this is a little picture from the highway code. Um, just to give you a simple idea, we can talk about this green car in the corner. And as this green car approaches the roundabout, it turns right. And they've actually drawn two separate exit lanes there that you could go up either of them. Bearing in mind now that everything you're taught when you're learning to drive is that you should be sticking to the left unless you're overtaking or unless you've got some special reason like you're turning right or avoiding an obstacle. So given that we've got a choice of those two, we're then going to assume that we want to be in the left hand one when we exit, unless we see parked cars up ahead or unless we're intending to turn right immediately after this roundabout or some special reason like that. So okay, now bear in mind that what we're talking about here is what I call a normal roundabout. So you are going to be coming from the bottom right hand corner here, you're going to be going round and eventually exiting over here in one of these two lanes, but we're not sure which one. What we're not talking about is what I call a spiral roundabout. A spiral roundabout in this case is where you will begin in a certain lane, you will carry on in that lane, and actually what happens is the paint on the floor guides you exactly where to go to. Now, you've got a choice of sort of two lanes to go to on this one. One of them makes you carry on around the roundabout like a U-turn, and one of them kicks you off the roundabout in the correct place. So on spiral roundabouts, it's much more obvious where you're supposed to go to, because if I zoom in a little bit, you can see there's markings and directions on the floor that actually spiral you to the correct exit as long as you follow the signs. So that's for another video really, the details on there. We're going to go back to our normal roundabout. Let me get rid of these layers that I've already drawn. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so we are going to be going in, like I said, from this position here. This is our car, my expert drawings. And if it's clear past the giveaway line that you've got there, then we can enter the roundabout. So we're signalling right and we're trying to come off in this lane over here. So you enter the roundabout, stay to the right, all the way around. And what you've got to imagine really when you're doing this is that even though there's no paint dividing lanes on the floor, there was two lanes here. So we've got to imagine there's almost two lanes, well there are two lanes going all the way around. Enough room for two cars. There. So we're allowed to cross those lines. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as we make sure that it's for a good reason and that we're doing it safely. I think the image that some people have is that you're not allowed to cross that line. Well, if that was the case, you would never get off the roundabout. So we're going to continue on round to the right, and about this point here, bearing in mind that until this moment we've been signalling right to let people know that we're going right. So there's a right-hand indicator on the car. At this point here, we've passed the previous exit that we don't want. We don't want this exit here. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And what I would say then, at this yellow line that I've drawn, this is where you need to signal left. In fact, it's going to be more than that, isn't it? It's going to be mirror and signal to the left. And switch back to green. So this is where you've signaled left, you've checked your mirrors, and that means you're hopefully safe because you've made sure to straighten up, cross those lines, and spiral gently towards the outside. You could, of course, go to the right-hand lane, only if there was a reason, and I'm going to give you a reason in a second why we might want to do that. Let me just get rid of that line. So the worry that some people have is that the cars that are waiting here will pull out and catch up with you, and when they get to here they're going to wallop into the side of you. Now that could happen if the guy in the red car is driving like an idiot. If he's following the rules, then there's no way on earth that he should be catching up with you. He should be giving way to everybody on the roundabout to his right, which is you. So you've got priority over him. So ideally, he should only really be pulling out and getting into this position when you are in approximately this position, I'm just going to draw a big blob here. I know it's getting a bit messy. So in other words, he'll be tailing you. Now if it's a bit of an aggressive driver and you're trying to pull to the left and he's not paying attention to your left-hand signal, then of course what you've got the option to do is either slow down a bit and get behind him, just let him go in front of you before you pull to the left-hand lane, or you could use the right-hand lane if you think that's clear and safe, or there's nothing wrong with sticking your right-hand signal back on and going round the roundabout again and just simply restarting the same procedure from zero. Now that does happen. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but it's rare. And the reason you check your left mirror and signal when you exit a roundabout is because you're trying to avert that happening. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. Any comments, please post them, or any questions, please post them, and I'll do what I can to answer. So if you found this helpful, give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more free videos, and tell your friends.